Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. I've got some exciting news. Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast is now on Amazon Music. How great is that? So basically, any of your podcasting platforms where you're getting these tips, tools, and techniques coming to you every week, you're going to find it just about anywhere you go. Apple Music, iHeart, Amazon. So any of the big players. And if you don't find us there, then reach out, let me know. Dawn at drewdawnferguson.com, and I'll see what we can't do about making it happen for you. Okay. I'd love to hear your input on this one. How have you seen people sabotage their goals? Big ways, little ways. Hey, you say that, and you can blame it on somebody else. You can say, this is what I've seen, so we don't think that it's you, right? I've seen somebody go, yes, I'm going to set my alarm tomorrow morning and get up and work out. Not only did they not get up early, they didn't even get up on time. They overslept. Or I'm going to be more caring and loving with my partner. And the next thing you know, they're in a big blow up. Or maybe I'm going to eat healthier right after this next piece of chocolate. By the way, hands off on chocolate. I will not do hypnosis sessions for people who have challenges with chocolate. I am not the hypnotist for you. I believe that is a luxury and a reward in our life. Okay, so sabotage. Why do we sabotage the very thing that we want? Well, if you go back to what I shared with you last week, as far as what are goals are, as I like to say, and results are simply KPIs, key performance indicators, that you're expressing an identity that's healthy, that's functional, that's you being your very best. Because you may have an identity in this area that actually says you can't have what it is that you want, that you need to be something for other people to make their life okay, not for you expressing yourself at your very best. And so what you focus on, what you feel, and the actions you take are in direct contradiction with the result that you want. Well, really, they're in direct contradiction to the identity that you want to experience. So, of course, your mind is going to sabotage you. It's going to say, no, that's not who we are. So you have no idea how far you can go, but you'll never get to the experiences, the immersion in you being your very best if you keep going back to what programs you for pain. And that's what happens when you sabotage. It's simply an indicator that you've gone back to your programming and conditioning. And here's an aha. It's not doing it because it wants to hold you back. It's doing it because it's testing you. It's going, please look at me, the part of you that has been designed to be dysfunctional, not your fault, but you have to take 100% responsibility for upgrading it. It's saying, please look at me and show me that we can be better. And instead, you look at the part of you that's self-sabotaging and going, yeah, I guess we're a screw up. And you go along with it, which then reinforces the pain that piece of you, that piece of your personality carries. The self-sabotage was never intended to stop you. Instead, it is asking for your higher self, your soul self actualization, who you can really be. It's asking for an affirmation and implementation for impact. It's asking for you to look at it, who you are now, not who you were then, but who you are now, and go, we got this. Yeah, we're going to move forward. So if you were looking for a very simple answer on what to do when you self-sabotage, this is not going to be for you. Telling you that right now. You are a complex individual. What I'm going to do is give you the 4 categories you can be saying, this is where I get stuck at. But it's not going to be a simple answer, because if it was, everybody would have it. You've got to earn the right to be your very best. And there are going to be people who go, oh no, then we get into areas of worthiness. Exactly. You do need to earn your worthiness. You have a phenomenal value, who your higher power designed you to be. But the worth comes from expressing it, not going along with what the situation says that you need to be, so everybody else feels okay because they're stuck. You got to step out into the leader you are. And how do I know that you're a leader? Because those are the people who listen to my podcasts and these videos and stick around for a while. You have an area of your life where you are supposed to be magnificent. You're supposed to be exceptional. You're supposed to model for others. This is how it's done. And you've been shirking your responsibility because you think once you set the goal, everything is supposed to flow. No, it's not. You know, when a seed's planted, it has to push past the dirt in its life before it gets to the light. Yeah, I wonder if you might be the same way. Okay, so let's look at the 4 ways you can sabotage, the 4 areas, and then you can say, okay, this one is my sticking point. I understand now more of why I keep going back to this area, and then you can look at what you can do about it. The very first one is sabotage symptoms are there for a reason, okay? That symptoms have purpose, and they're trying to show you your original programming. So number 1, you'll sabotage on symptoms because this is how you were taught to soothe yourself. You will reach for someone's approval. You'll reach for a food or a drink. But you'll reach for something outside of you to tell you that you're okay. So whenever you're wanting to reach for that drink to make you okay, understand that that's the part of your personality going, please tell me that we really don't need this. Please show me that there is another way that we can soothe ourselves without doing this to ourselves. Because every time you go ahead and reach for it, you are reinforcing that original imprint that you need to be hurt and that this is the only way that's going to make it better. What's an imprint? An imprint is an intense emotional experience that you went through, maybe one time, maybe many times, but you went through it. And it left literally an imprint or a way of you seeing the world. And when you have imprints of pain, then you're going to be looking for all the ways to avoid taking action. And because you're afraid it's going to bring more pain. Well, yes, a seed, as it's shedding its husk, so that it can then have those growth shoots moving towards the top to break free from the soil. You don't think that that might be a little uncomfortable? Yeah. Okay. All right. So again, we're looking at symptoms. There's 4 symptoms. This is how you soothe yourself with your self-sabotage. There's something you don't want to do. This is number 2. There's something you don't want to do. So this is how you distract yourself. There's something you don't want to have to take responsibility for. So your self-sabotage is a way to distract you. Hey, some of the people that I've worked with over the 17 years, the thousands and thousands, I get it. because there's a part of you that may think that success means taking on more responsibility for other people and enabling their bad behavior. So of course you're going to distract yourself from with sabotage from stepping into a leadership, because you haven't been able to see what's on the other side of the sabotage. And it's not going to be enabling, it's going to be empowering. But yeah, there's a part of you going, I don't want to take on additional responsibility, because when you took it on in the past, it was not your choice. You were pushed into it, and it was going to be so you could enable the bad behaviors of others. Okay, number 3. This is how you get attention so you can feel good about yourself. Okay, it is by having problems. I understand that, but you're perverting your progress down to your past pain, which is the reason why whenever I work with a client the very first time, of course, we're going to go over their challenges. I don't see them as a problem. Do you really want somebody to see you as a problem, that you're broken, you're flawed, and you need to be fixed? No, I see that you have challenges, that you have not been able to completely upgrade your identity and handling those challenges in a way that brings impact, that brings influence into your life, that turns your dreams into reality. That's all. But after I work with somebody the first time, we get together the second time, their follow-up coaching call from their session, I don't start off with, tell me everything that ain't working in your life. I start off with, tell me what's working well. Tell me how you're moving forward, because I've raised my expectations on you to find the progress, not the pain. Okay. So that all goes back to, you can get attention by being in pain, or you can get attention for being in progress. How were you programmed? And then the last one is, by continuing to be a hot mess, this is how others get to take care of me. This is how I connect. I just don't get attention. This is how I have been taught to connect with others. And this is because you were so invalidated in your younger years. Your brilliance was shoved down and shoved to the side, and you were asked to be something you were not so someone else could be okay with their life. Time to start validating who you are. Okay, so that's step number 1 on why you self-sabotage. Step number 2 is your motivators. It's what I call the 5 to buy. And to buy into any habit, it has to meet at least 2 of these motivators. And whether you're a success or whether you're a failure, you're motivated to do it. So out of these 5, the very first one we have is status. Status says, am I up or am I down? And you will use status in a dysfunctional way by comparing yourself against others instead of comparing yourself against your potential and saying, look how far I've come and look how far I'm still got to go. Woohoo! It is a journey. See, success it is just the journey. The destination is you, who you really are, and you never fully arrive. Because when you do fully arrive, then it's time to then transition into another energetic. Okay, so you've got status. Are you comparing yourself against others? You know, as soon as you make somebody wrong for something, unless it is a law that's been broken, but if you make them wrong for how they're spending their money, for what size they decide to be with their weight, for the love relationships that they decide to have, as soon as you make them wrong, you're making it wrong for you to experience love, for you to experience prosperity, for you to experience you at your very best. So what they got going on Well, that's up to them and their journey. Maybe they're here just to give you an example not to follow. But as soon as you make that wrong, instead of saying, well, it just wouldn't be right for me, if you judge them to be wrong, because the subconscious mind, there's no gray area. It's either black or white. Then it's saying, not, you're not going to have it either. So start using discernment as far as, you know what, this is how I want it in my life. Okay, so status. Then you have control. I love people that point their fingers at other people, because what they're telling me is they're having a challenge being disciplined themselves. When you can say that you have the discipline, that you carry out plans, that you get things done, that you know you're doing what's right for you, that you are reliable, and that you will persevere until you get your goal, then you have the ability to tell others, hey, you know what? If you're interested, you might want to join me on this journey. I'm not saying you've got it all resolved. You're never going to resolve it all, but you are walking in your upgraded identity. And the people who do not have the ability to do that love to point their finger at everybody else and going, you're wrong and I'm right. We see a lot of that going on right now in society, don't we? That is the number one fear, the fear of being wrong. Why? Because when you were wrong, when you were a kid, you were extremely punished. So as soon as you start making somebody else wrong, they're going to rebel against it, and they're going to try to find all the ways that they're right and you're wrong. And now we got two dysfunctional factions going after each other. Oh my gosh, how can you really point the finger at somebody else and go, you need to be doing this when we can't even get ourselves to follow through a lot of time? Okay, so remember, we're looking at how you sabotage your goals. So are you sabotaging your goals going with status, going there, look at them, that they're doing it incorrectly, but yet the only way you get your status is by putting someone else down? Or is it control? You want to take it even further by pointing the finger at them and being so focused on them that, oh my gosh, how are you going to focus on yourself for moving forward? Because all of your energy is being taken up by looking at somebody else. Well, if you want to take it even further than that, then let's look at on the 5 to buy for buying into habits, the middle finger, which is freedom. Yeah, you know, if you feel like your freedom's been taken away, what do? You give someone the middle finger. Okay, so what happens whenever you feel like you need to build your status on the back of somebody else by making them wrong? You are going to restrict freedoms. Now, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be guidelines in place that say this is what's going to benefit everybody. But going by the rules are for you, not me. We've all done it. Yeah, we can look at some people in government right now and go, look at what they're doing. We've all done it. We need to look at ourselves first and go, where have we restricted the freedom of someone else to try to make ourselves feel better? I see this whenever I'm working with a client who's been betrayed seriously by someone in their life. It could have been a partner that maybe had an affair, or a business partner that embezzled money. And now this person is so restrictive with freedom with everybody around them because they think that this is how they're going to be able to control life and this is how they're going to get their status. You cannot discover the freedom of expression for yourself when you're trying to tighten it down because you're avoiding pain. There's only two ways your brain can go. It either can go into pain avoidance or progress amplification. By the way, progress can hurt just as much as pain in the beginning. because you got to sort through some things. And if you are consistently looking for the things to avoid, what kind of freedom is that? It's not. It is not going to turn on the creativity, the new experiences, and the curiosity. By the way, curiosity is the highest brainwave state you can have. It's not going to turn on any of that for you to experience more life. That's the number one universal law. More life, fuller expression, being discovering how you can be your very best. And you are going to fail in discovering that, but you've got to move into freedom for yourself, instead of, well, they need to be doing this and they need to be doing that. Because what you just did is you handed your power away, which takes us into number 4 on the motivators, which is relationships, the ring finger. And you're saying that they have to change before you're going to be okay. You've been taught to hand your power away. I don't want it, because then if things don't work out, you're going to blame me. It's not your fault for how you've been programmed and conditioned to experience life, but you've got to take 100% responsibility for moving forward. By the way, if any of this makes sense to you, give me hashtag goal getting with one of your ahas, because I will put you in a drawing to give you, I'm going to gift you my course called How to Go from Goal Setting into Goal Getting. All right. So hashtag goal getting, all one word. So relationships, you've been taught for other people to make you okay. I want to transfer that authority and that power back to you. I don't want it. I can't do anything with it. Only you can. And then that's when you rely on the last motivator, which is fairness in life. And you're like, but I've tried that in the past and it's not fair and I got hurt. By the way, looking for life to be fair is going to be the best indicator of how unhappy you're going to be in life. Yep, because life isn't fair and things are going to happen. You're going to do everything right, and the results are still going to turn out wrong. And then that part of you, that younger you, is going to look up at you again and go, tell me we can try again. Tell me we can do this, that we've got it. Tell me that we've learned lessons on this, and you're going to use those lessons. And instead, you've been looking at that younger you going, no, we're a freak up, just like they told us. All you're doing is reinforcing that pain of your past that can actually be used as energy for success. So no, not everything is going to work out right. So I see 2 areas where people get stuck. Women learning how to use anger to draw healthy boundaries, and men using sadness and grief to get life's lessons so they don't have to repeat it again. Because women are not taught how to use anger and men are not taught how to use sadness and grief. And that's exactly the life lesson that is coming to you in fairness. But if you continue to go, no, I tried it in the past and it didn't work, you're going to stay stuck and struggling. So 5 to buy, you have 5 motivators. 2 of them are your favorites to sabotage your success right now. Just saying, go from symptoms to motivators. And then after that, you're going to have values. Told you you're a complex individual. Pick one from each category, and you're going to put you together at your very best, as well as you hurting. We've got to give the pain a purpose. Okay, values. There's 4 of them. Certainty, variety, worthiness, and validation. Certainty shows up dysfunctional by what's known as safety. You relying on other people, places, and things to be okay. And then when they're not there, you're not safe. Ruh-roh. You really want security. If it is to be, it is up to me. Then after that, you've got variety, because if you're too secure, life gets boring and your subconscious mind runs on the energy of emotion. That's the electricity. And so it wants a lot of electricity. It wants a lot of emotion, variety. So that variety can show up as drama, crisis, chaos, and confusion. You just a hot mess, or you're surrounded by people who are hot messes that you're constantly having to assist. This is the reason why I do not work with people that want to stay as hot messes, because again, I told you in the beginning, I don't see you as a problem. I see you as a seed that is yet to fully develop with your magnificence. Okay. So you've got crisis, chaos, drama, and confusion, or what you really want is freedom of choices. You can either have the drama, or you can say, you know what, let me find a way to use that energy to get more done with less effort. That's what I do all the time with clients in fear. Overwhelming, paralyzing fear. We just converted into energy. And all of a sudden now, oh my gosh, they are accomplishing more in a day than what some people do in an entire week, because it's fuel. We just have to upgrade the meaning to it. Well, after you upgrade the meaning, then you move into the level of worthiness. Two ways for worthiness. One is going to be dysfunctional. Oh, look at me and all my problems and how I have to sacrifice myself for others, or how I have to constantly save them. That's not what you want. You really want what's known as significance. Significance says, look at how we can pair up. Look at how we can bring out the best in each other. So you learn from someone who has influence in your life. You work with them, a coach, a mentor. You work with them, and then you turn around and you pass it on to somebody else. And then the next level is the level of validation, to where, oh my gosh, look, you said if it is to be, it is up to me, and I've got freedom of choices, and I'm choosing to use these emotions as fuel and energy for my success. And I'm working with someone on my significance, and I'm passing this life lesson down. And then someone comes along and goes, getting a little big for your britches, don't you think, Missy? Just who do you think you are, mister? And they try to cut you down so they can feel better about themselves. All righty. So, what do you need to do? You need, because at this level, that's connection, where you're taught to connect to others on painful problems, for being a hot mess, for always having to save other people and always handing your power away. That's what others would really like you to be, that want to be able to control you. They want you dependent upon them. This is the beginning levels of leadership. There's 3 levels beyond this, but we're not going into that today. Okay, this is the beginning levels of leadership. And you know how you do that? You love yourself enough to never do anything to yourself that you wouldn't want another person doing to you. Someone cuts you down like that, someone decides that they want to try to use you for a means to their ends, you going to stay in that circumstance? You're going to stay in that situation? Now, sometimes you might have to be able to get your feet underneath you and be able to create the experience to move on. But it shouldn't take very long. I'm here to tell you, I was in a marriage for 17 years where I knew after the first few months that I needed to get out, and I stayed way too long. Even went to a therapist one time where she worked with me. I think it was 2 times, and on the 3rd time I go in and she's like, can't help you anymore. I was 25, had 2 small children. I had already been married, like 8 years. And she's like, I can't see you anymore. And I'm like, freaking what? My life's falling apart around me. I'm on welfare. I'm working as a waitress for $1 an hour, and my employer keeps all my tips. And I'm married to someone who is mentally ill, and they medicate with illegal drugs. And she goes, you already know what you need to do. And I can't do it for you. It took me, I think almost a decade after that before I did anything. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't take you long to get your feet underneath you, but it does when you've learned to get your needs met in a dysfunctional way. This is why I can come to you like this and say, I get it. I've been there. And I also been to what's on the other side. And I know you can do this. So you are valuing something in a dysfunctional way, which keeps you motivated to taking the actions of sabotage. Whew. Okay. Then the last area, beliefs, what you believe about yourself. You know, beliefs after the age of 13 are really interesting. They are dependent upon you taking consistent action over 91 days. That is the only way a belief can be upgraded. 91 days. Um, Usually, if you're going to sabotage when you set a goal, you're going to sabotage in the first 72 hours. Then after that, day 7 to 10. Then after that, right around the 3-week mark. Then weeks 6 to 8. And then weeks 12 to 13. So we already know behavioral science has already proven when you're going to try to give up, not on the goal, but giving up on yourself. Not your fault. It's really hard to do this when you haven't had anybody modeling for you how it should be done. Because if they modeled for you, you'd already have it, right? Okay. So today was all about understanding how you self-sabotage. If this makes sense to you and you want my assistance, I'm going to give you 2 ways that we can explore assistance. One is by a conversation to where we can discover what it is that you've got going on, and I can let you know if yes, I can assist you with that. So you can reach out to me, 636-699-7791. If you leave a message, say that you want to consult with Dawn, a goal getting consult with Dawn. You got to, because I have other associates now that have come in and have been with me for a while. So you want to let me know that you want to talk to me, or you can text goal getting consult to 636-699-7791. And I will know that that's for me. If you've already maybe talked to me or you've been listening to me for a while and you're like, no, I've got something I've got and I want to make this happen. I want this identity upgrade. Go to drewdawnferguson.com/DIR, dreams into reality. And you're going to see the success system that I already have set up after going into 17 years of doing this now. I already have the system waiting for you, but we're going to have to customize it to you and who you really are to make this happen. You've got a happy ending waiting for you. Okay? Let's get to it. By the way, the happy ending is the goal. You'll always be working on the identity upgrades. All right, let's pull this all together with your plan of action. Number 1, your identity has been programmed and conditioned to be in direct opposition to what you want to experience in life. And you keep experiencing sabotage through either symptoms that have purpose, through motivators for sabotage, through values that contradict what you want to have, and the beliefs you haven't stuck with what you're doing long enough to upgrade what you believe about yourself. So look at those areas, see which one is your very most favorite, and then pick somebody to work with. Maybe it's me, maybe it's somebody else, but you are going to have to work with someone one-on-one. Why is that? Because it was somebody on one-on-one that created the pain. You need someone there to model how to give that pain a purpose one-on-one. If you could have gotten it by listening to a podcast, reading a book, or watching a video, you'd already have the success, but those things can't customize your journey to who you really are. And that's what you need, the customization. Okay. Here's to you turning on your brilliance by being your most magnificent self. Because, in case you haven't noticed it, the world's a pretty dark place right now. It needs your light more than ever. So let's turn you on at your very brightest. Not only will your world be better, but the entire world will be better. So until we get together again, blessings on your brilliance.